Make it work. Okay. Salt grinder. Boom. North Pole. Okay. Dadgummit. North Pole, right? Equator, right? On the side. How far is that from North Pole to the equator? Around 1/4 of ballpark, let's say 24,000 to make it easy. 24,000 and change, 25,000 miles roughly, but let's say 24,000 miles. Okay, there we go. 24,000 miles around, right? 1/4 of 24 is what? 6. So you've traveled 6,000 miles to get from the equator to the North Pole or vice versa, okay? So what is the distance of drop, the curvature of drop? What's the diameter of the Earth? 7,000 and change, ballpark, about half of the 1/3 of the circumference, pi, a little bit less than 1 pi times diameter, one third, okay? So 3 into 24,000, 8,000, ballpark 8,000 miles. What's the radius? 4,000 miles. So from the time you drop from the North Pole to the equator, a distance of about 6,000 miles, you have dropped 4,000 miles in curvature. So, that's the point, is from Hawaii, let's say that these are little friends, or let's say it was a guy and a girl, romantic couple, is standing in the water there in Hawaii, looking at the setting sun, and the sunlight is literally touching their toes in the water. And it is a beautiful drop dead knockout, gorgeous sight. So the sunlight is across 3,000, 4,000 miles of water, level, horizontal horizon. From the horizon to their feet, it is flat. Water seeks its own level. Okay? So I'm not going to belabor that one anymore. So on a sphere, let's say it was 3,000 miles, 1,500 miles to this point, 1,500 miles of no light. As the sun's setting, the light would be cutting way over their heads. They would be in darkness. They probably couldn't even see their toes. So, and for people that say, one of the most common and most ill thought out oppositions to the, flat Earth is, they say, well, if the sun's over here, the whole thing would be daylight. If the sun's going around a flat plane, well, it's a spotlight. It's not a gigantic ball in the sky. You got to understand that. There's a video of a cruise, and I think it's up in Alaska. They point the camera over here, and the sun's coming up, or it's setting, and it's broad daylight. I mean, it's broad daylight. You can see the sun in the sky, and they pan around over here, and the moon's up, and it's pitch darkness. So that's from one point with one camera, uninterrupted view, panning around just 180 degrees, pitch dark, dead of night, broad daylight, sunlight, sun in the sky. So that's an easy one to refute. Okay, all of them are. I mean, they just look at the sunset. The sun doesn't change in size. Yeah, it does. It goes from being, a large, directly overhead, that big, and as it's setting, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and then it curves out of sight. Okay, that's what you do see. Everything that is objections to the truth is just based on assumptions, just complete assumptions. That's what we've been told, that's what we believe, that's the truth, and I'm not going to change from the truth. Even though it's a lie, I don't care. I'm going to still believe a lie. So that's basically it. So on a ball, no light would come past that point. There would be nothing touching their feet. And I was going to say something else. Yeah, I mean, the curvature, I'm saying, let's say ballpark 3,000 miles. It sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot of drop just across the United States. Yeah, it sounds insane. You know why it sounds insane? It is insane. It is absolutely insane. Think about it. The tallest mountain in the world, Mount Everest, right at 29,000 feet, is 29,000 divided by 5,280. Ballpark 6 miles. An airplane flies at 35. Not much higher than that. 6 miles high, and yet the Earth is supposed to curve a lot more than that. Thanks. Bye bye.